In this video, I want to touch on solos and mutes. Now, something to be aware of in Pro Tools is that when you solo a track that's been routed to another, whether that's another audio track or an aux input, what you can find is, I'll play this audio.
Hello and welcome to the Progress Theory, where
hit solo and I can't hear it. Now, if you're using an older version of Pro Tools, you'll definitely find that this happens. By default, the newer versions, AUXes have a thing called solo safe. So if you hold down Command and click the solo button on the channel, it will take you in and out of solo safe. Grayed out means that it is solo safe. Now, what does solo safe mean? It means that when you solo, these tracks aren't affected. Now, we've got something playing at the moment and we can't hear it. This channel is being routed to aux 5, which is being routed to the outputs. But we can see it's going into the aux, but it's not going to the outputs. Why? Because this channel has been affected, muted effectively, by the solo. So we can put this in solo safe by having Command or Control and clicking on solo.
on Instagram,
And there
YouTube,
we are.
follow.
We can hear it.
Oh no!
Perfectly timed audio there. Now, while we're talking about solos, I want to talk about solo options. So down here, we have our solo options. Solo in place will solo that channel. We can solo after the fader and before the fader. And that will mean that any automation that's done after fader will affect what you hear in the solo, but you can listen pre-fader, which will mean any automation you've done is ignored. You also have two functions on solo. One is latch. When you press a solo, it stays on. To turn it off, you have to press the solo again. Or, my personal favorite is XOR. Every solo you click, it will turn the previous solo off. Let me show you the difference. XOR, as I click around, the previous solo turns off. If I hold down Shift, I can have multiple tracks soloed. Whereas with latch, I have to turn the solo off to make it go away. So when starting out, I recommend using XOR for your solo functionality. And the last thing to talk about is mutes. When muting a track, you will get a little warning up here to show you there are muted tracks in the session. Also, if the muted track is hidden, this can be super helpful if you're wondering why there's something missing. So that's mute. Now, another thing to add about mutes before we move on, which we'll touch on a little bit later, is you can automate mutes. It's risky, but you can do it. So this track will...
Watching Fergus's YouTube channel for over a year now, and I've really enjoyed it.
Be wary if you automate mutes. If you move audio from one track to the other, you want to make sure that the mute automation isn't affecting the audio you're bringing onto it.